Good morning, everyone. I hope you're doing well. In today's live, we're going to be discussing the penile implant doctor who is keeping us abreast of the progress of the hantavirus situation. I'm not making that up. um, that's from CNN. And also, the second part of this short report this morning is going to revolve around a question that I've been asking myself forever now. And that question really is, why don't reporters just tell Donald Trump to go fuck himself? Or why don't they humiliate him publicly when he starts bad mouthing them and insulting them? Why did they just allow themselves to tolerate the insults? I think there's a sense of martyrdom, this weird sense of martyrdom within the mainstream press that, affords them. I was just making sure my microphone was working. That affords them the um, tolerance to absorb the abuse that he gives them. And then when they finally make their way back to cable, with those who leave cable news and make their way into the independent news space and don't really care about the job anymore, because they don't have a job anymore with a corporate overlord, and they become, they're able to become reporters of integrity again. Um, if they ever had the opportunity to interview the village idiot Donald Trump, or to be spoken to the way they allow him to speak to them, they would not put up with it. So that's what we're going to cover today. Without further ado, let's just see who's here yet. Who's here at this point? And it'll just take me a moment to bring up the live. There we go. Okay. Now we've got, hey, Ann, how are you? Thank you for joining us today. Just before we get started, some housekeeping, my friends. If you are enjoying this content, if it is helping you, if, our couple times a day updates now, live and recorded, are benefiting you, please consider subscribing here at Xenocracy on Substack or here at Xenocracy on YouTube. If it's comfortable for you, please consider supporting this community by being a paid subscriber or upgrading your current subscription here on Substack to paid. Now let's get right to it. So the guy, let me just switch switch windows here. Now, I haven't been a huge fan of CNN. I don't take a lot of news from CNN anymore. One, because CNN, has just in so many ways just become all about whataboutism, and I really don't have the patience for it. I mean, they do some effective work in their clickbaity argument debate show, and I don't mean clickbaity in an insulting way. I mean, it's effective, and you've got MAGA folks like Scott Jennings consistently getting humiliated day in and day out. I don't know why they keep doing this, by sometimes young, well, all the time, young and very effective debaters like Adam Mockler, or sometimes folks that might be a little bit closer to my age, politics girl. But you're just, the MAGA folks are consistently being humiliated on CNN. So, I mean, they do that, CNN. But generally for news, and the other thing is I pull a lot of news that I like to discuss with everybody. I pull that news directly from articles. It's one of the things I utilize as articles. And in the last year or so, CNN has gotten very big on limiting access to articles with a paywall. And I don't mind paywalls. I mean, you can go around most of them with archive.ph after the story is a little bit older. And I think news outlets should have an opportunity to make money, and if they want to have a paywall and later when the story is old, provide it for free as an archive source, I'm fine with that. But if you're, a news outlet that I just don't think is all that great, like CNN, and then and you're also supported effectively by TV ads and everything else, and then you put a paywall up, it's just not of interest to me. So I generally don't go to CNN anymore for stories, but this one was pretty good. I couldn't resist the headline, and I just needed to share it with you. It's in CNN's K file. 37 minutes ago. Well, that was yesterday. I think it was yesterday this came out. Maybe it was today. Let me just read the headline to you. Penile implant specialist with history of far comments led the hantavirus presser. I just want to read that to you again because maybe you didn't fully absorb that. Because, just maybe not. Penile implant specialist. Penile implant specialist. Let me just read it one more time, those first 3 words, because it's funny. Penile implant specialist with history of far-right comments led hantavirus presser. So the press conference, I assume this article was from yesterday, about hantavirus and how the U.S. is responding to it, was led by a penile implant specialist. Now that caught my attention because, look, because there's so much to cover and there's so much news going on, I haven't paid as much attention as I should to RFK Jr.'s maha ridiculous shit show going on over at the Department of Health and Human Services, and subsequently with a limited amount of focus, I've paid limited attention to the CDC because to an extent, these goofballs, these wackos, these quacks have and RFK Jr. himself have fired so many of the competent people in the CDC that even when there's a potential pandemic outbreak, thankfully it doesn't look like that's going to happen, I haven't really been paying attention. I've been paying attention to the World Health Organization, to the American Medical Association, to qualified real doctors at media outlets and in independent media, but I don't pay any attention to the CDC anymore because it's full of quacks and goofballs. Drink unpasteurized milk and eat a lot of beef and take invercetamin or whatever that is whenever you have something bad, and you'll be good to go. But when I see an article where the headline is penile implant specialist with history of far-right comments led hantavirus presser, I might pay attention to the CDC. Let's share, shall we? Let's read together. As the Trump administration sought to reassure Americans this week that a hantavirus outbreak posed little risk to the public, Dr. Brian Christine, one of the top public health officials in charge of infectious disease policy, stood before reporters in Nebraska promising a response, quote, grounded in science, and, quote, grounded in transparency. So the response of the CDC to the hantavirus would be grounded in science and, most importantly, transparency. We would be able to be informed every step of the way of what's going on and what the CDC, the scientific CDC, is involved in. Before he joined the Trump administration last year, Christine was an Alabama-based urologist who specialized in penile implants. Let me repeat that to you again. Before he joined the Trump administration last year, Christine was an Alabama-based urologist who specialized in penile implants. Dr. Brian Christine, one of the top public health officials who is in charge of infectious disease policy, is actually, in real life, a urologist based in Alabama, right? Who is an expert in, I guess, installing and potentially removing penile implants. You got to give it to them, my friends. You got to give it to them. Because, what are the chances? Let's just read on. This is not the Borowitz report, right? This is not comedy. This is a real thing. Let's continue. Before he joined the Trump administration, Christine was an Alabama-based urologist who specialized in penile implants. He has little public health experience, go figure, and a history of far-right commentary promoting conspiracy theories. He said the COVID pandemic led to a wider government plot to control people. Compared the Biden administration to Nazi Germany, and suggested the COVID vaccine had little effect in stopping the pandemic. I would wonder, though, he probably is an expert in how the COVID vaccine may have affected erectile dysfunction. He once hosted a YouTube show called Erection Connection, a professional YouTube series. I'm 10. I know I'm 10 years old. A professional YouTube series on erectile dysfunction for fellow urologists. Let me see if this link is live. All right, let's just see. We have to just take a moment and see. Hang on one second. I'm just bringing it up in another window. Oh, man. Hang on, guys. I'm just trying to, I don't know if it's an article or if it's actually a, hang on, let me just see if I can copy the link. If I can share this with you, I will. I don't know if it's it's web archive, so I can't share it. It's that's why it's not bringing it up. All right. Unfortunately, you know what? I can't resist. Erection Connection, because I mean, how often does this opportunity come up? Let's just go to YouTube and see if we can find it. Oh, that's YouTube Creator Studio. That you don't need to see. I mean, you can see it. I don't really care. YouTube. All right, let's just go to regular YouTube and not Creator Studio. And let's look up Erection Connection. Here it is. Let's just check one of them out.
We have got to the point where literally anybody can build a fully working app without knowing how to code. This is
Hey guys, welcome back to We Got Balls. And Chris, you know, we're on the final episode of our Science of Masturbation file.
Hang on, guys. Hang on. Let me just make sure I've got the right one. Let me just make sure, because I can't. If you're just joining us, you might be thinking, what the fuck is going on? What are we doing here at Synocracy today? What are we looking at? So I gotta tell you. Okay. I can't do this. I can't do this today. I gotta go. I have a meeting with an accountant at 11:30. I gotta move this forward, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to do this. If you're just joining us, CNN K-File reported that penile implant specialist with history of far-right comments led the hantavirus presser. Okay, if you're just joining us, and that's real. And we were just reading this. I can't do it. I can't do this. Oh my God, this might be the best thing I've done all year. All right, let me take a breath. We can get through this. I'm too immature for this, guys. I'm too immature for this. I won't be able to pull this off. So if you're just joining us, the doctor who is one of our top officials in the Trump administration. I can't believe this is real. Oh my God. I can't do this. I literally can't make this happen. I got to get through this. My vein is popping out of my head. I'm losing it. Center myself. The doctor in the Trump administration, one of our chief infectious disease experts, is an Alabama-based urologist who specializes in penile implants and right-wing propaganda. And prior to joining the Trump administration, he had a YouTube show. And that YouTube show is called Erection Connection. So I just can't resist going to the YouTube show because, when am I going to have the opportunity to do this again? So we went to YouTube and I put in Erection Connection and I found this. And, but before I play any of it for you, I think I'm going to subscribe to this too. I might even pay. But before I play any of this for you, I just want to make sure that this is the right YouTube page, that we really are at Erection Connection with Dr. Christine. So I got to go to the page called We Got Balls. So let's just see. Real Raw. Okay, that may not be him. This is Chris Inman and Scott Cohn. Okay. So we've got to go back and see.
Wait, how old is the new hire?
Wait.
I don't know, but he literally uses Excel.
I don't really care. Let's just hold off. The guy's name is Dr. Brian Christine. So let's look that up on YouTube because, oh man, let's just see if this helps. All right, this is him on Capitol Hill. No. He is all right. Here's the Erection Connection.
I received a call from a patient the other day to tell me about this new proven treatment that he was undergoing for his erectile dysfunction.
Well, clearly, so we found the right place. Okay, we found the correct Erection Connection. I'm slightly disappointed that it wasn't the place we were the place we were before, called We Got Balls, but we are clearly in the OR where one of the chief infectious disease experts in the United States of America right now at the Centers for Disease Control. This is his OR, I guess, where he and I guess his assistant, I don't know if that's a nurse or an MA, where they talk about that must be where they perform, penile implants. So let's see. Let me just pull up. I can't show you this one. I can't. There's balls. I can't take it. There's balls. I'm a 10-year-old. I'm so sorry. There's balls. Oh, good Lord. You can't make it up. This is a family show. There's an actual. Oh my God. There's actually, this is here. I can never unsee this. I gotta stop. I can't do this. Most of this show has been me laughing. Oh my God. This is. I cannot get it. I just wish. Thank God you guys are here with me, because I can't imagine being this entertained by myself. I can't fucking look at it. I'm sweating. I'm laughing so hard. Oh my God. I can't look. Oh dear God. I don't know. Let's just let's just go back here because I can't do anything with erection connection. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, we're gonna be okay, guys. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna get through this together. All right. Whew. Deep breaths. A CNN review of archived podcast episodes, social media posts, and radio appearances found that Christine repeatedly framed public health institutions, the federal government, and pandemic-era policies as tools used to target conservatives and religious Americans. I'm sorry, I just need a tissue. That was a lot of laughing. In comments made on CNN is doing its job here by hyper-focusing on his right-wing extremism and conspiracy theory stuff, but I really hope they take more time to talk about him being, a urologist who, specializes in penile implants. In comments he made on a podcast he hosted while running for Alabama State Senate in 2022, Christine questioned the legitimacy of the 2020 election. He also advocated for abortion bans without exceptions for rape or incest and suggested that there may be a worldwide effort involving George Soros and figures associated with the World Economic Forum's Great Reset to use the pandemic to force small businesses to close. Christine repeatedly criticized COVID mandates, arguing that vaccines neither prevented the disease nor transmission, despite evidence the vaccines prevented millions of deaths. Andrew Nixon, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Media Relations at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, told CNN, quote, Assistant Secretary for Health, Admiral Christine remains focused on executing President Trump and Senator Kennedy's agenda to make America healthy again and deliver on President Trump's executive order to extend the size of penises for every man in the United States of America. Christine, a surgeon who went directly from private practice to helping lead the federal government's public health response, took office last November. There he is. While some of his views were previously reported, the Washington Post, during his nomination process, CNN reviewed several additional podcast episodes that appear to have been deleted from YouTube or Apple Podcasts before his confirmation, but remain publicly accessible. His senior role at the Department of Health and Human Services places him in charge of offices responsible for family planning, women's health, infectious disease policy, and the U.S. Public Health Service Commissioned Corps, the Uniformed Health Service of more than he's an admiral now, too, the penis implant guy. The erection connection guy now gets to wear a uniform as well, since he's a fucking somehow admiral at the fucking Health and Human Services. Oh, look, yeah, here it is. As the head, this is comical. As the head of Public Health Service, Christine also serves as a 4-star admiral in charge of the uniformed service. Guys, this is just brilliant reporting from K-File. I cannot believe nobody's picked this up before. I can't believe late night hosts, TV hosts have not gotten a hold of this story yet. I can't believe I'm the one, magnifying this story. There are so many moments for different reasons when I wish I had a huge platform, when I wish virality was I was much larger and virality was much easier to achieve, because this just needs to go viral. It is just good stuff. Anyway, since assuming the post, Christine has led efforts to restrict gender transition care through federal blocks on funding. Though the Wall Street Journal reported his private practice once advertised treating transgender people for erectile dysfunction, a claim Christine denied. His personal website also noted his practice offered erectile dysfunction in patients who have undergone female to male gender reassignment. Christine's been a frequent critic of the Biden administration, blah, blah, blah. A since deleted Twitter account of Christine also showed commentary in line with MAGA activism, including efforts to overturn the 2020 election. In December 2020, he retweeted a call from conservative activist Charlie Kirk to urge Republicans to object to the results of the election. Quote, breaking, Senator Josh Hawley will object to the election results on January 6th, blah, blah, blah. Christine's account also showed repeated engagement with Vernon Jones, the former Georgia Democratic state representative who switched parties, blah, blah, blah. Let's just see if there's anything, criticism of vaccine mandates, and that seems to be, and he doesn't like abortion. So the comedy is this fake Admiral now, the erectile dysfunction guy, who is now, an admiral, magically became an admiral, who has a podcast where he shows, penises being enlarged. That guy who is a MAGA extremist nutcase, that guy held a press conference recently, and he is the voice of America when it comes to the hantavirus, and any pandemics, any potential pandemics that we might face up to. So, I was going to share another story in this very, very short live, but I don't think so. I think this stands alone. I think this story is independent of anything I'm going to re-report or talk about or make fun of today. I think this has to have its own personal post. So I'm not going to talk about anything else. I'm going to leave this here for you. And you can process this any way you think might be helpful, because I honestly don't know what else to do with it. Yeah. So if you're watching this on Substack or YouTube and you enjoy stories like this that the mainstream media reported on, but the rest of the mainstream media missed, and the mainstream media outlet that reported on it didn't really elevate it or magnify it, this is the place for you. Xenocracy is your community. Please make sure you like and subscribe on YouTube, on Substack. I'll be back later, guys. 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, 1 day at a time, 1 live at a time. Thank you for joining me. I'm glad this made your day, and mine too. I think we all needed this. Thank you, Admiral Christian, for your service. You really made us laugh today. And every time you see this dick, in a press conference from now on, remember this moment. I'll see you soon, guys. Be well. Love you guys.